Hello everyone, I'm Leila del Duca. Welcome back to my channel. Hello first-time visitors. I am a comic book creator. I drew Shutter, Sleepless, and I wrote a Thar. Today I'm going to teach you how I print paper off on, Today I'm going to teach you how I print blue line artwork off of the computer onto paper so that I can ink over it. This can be used for pretty much any medium, I think, just as long as your paper will fit through the printer. If you're wanting to watercolor it, if you want to oil paint over something, if you want to do anything, this might apply to you as well. So it's not just comics specific. What you'll need is a printer, your computer, or whatever you use to print your artwork onto your paper with, and the paper you're going to print your stuff onto. I'm using this Strathmore Bristol smooth paper. It's some of my favorite stuff to ink on top of. I love this Strathmore paper not only because of how I like how it feels when I ink on it. It's a very smooth finish, but it also has these borders. For those of you who are unfamiliar with comics, this is the typical like American 11 by 17 dimension that you will see in like DC Comics, Marvel Comics, Boom, Image, all of those guys. So if you want to use this guide, you can. I'm not. I'm going to flip it over because it's blank on this side. It has the same exact finish. And since I'm printing off my own work onto this page, I don't need these guides. This is my printer. I use an Epson Stylus Photo 1400. I think I've had this for over 7 or 8 years now, and it's always treated me really well. Make sure the printer that you're using is not water soluble. Make sure that the ink that you're using in your printer is not water soluble, which means if you add a wet medium to it, it's not going to dissolve into your artwork and ruin the lines you're putting down. Print out a test paper and put some water on it and see how it reacts. And then you don't ruin any of the artwork that you print off. Let us also talk about the size of the printer you want to use. Not everyone has to print on 11 by 17 inch paper. You could do it on 8.5 by 11 like a regular printer, but I'm just doing it this way because in comics, a lot of the time people say to draw large because if you make mistakes and you shrink it down, it looks better. So another thing about my Epson printer is that it can print up to 13 by 19 inches. I only need it to be 11 inches wide, so I'm just going to make this flush with my page. I'm going to turn my printer on. Woohoo! And open the little flipper flap. What I do using Clip Studio Paint, which is the program I use about 90% of the time on all of my digital work. Okay, so as you can see, I have 3 layers on my file, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the line work layer. So in Clip Studio Paint, it's really easy to change your line work into blue line. You can just change the layer color, and by default, it's blue. So now, it's blue. So with my printer, it prints really dark, so this blue is going to turn out even darker. I'm going to change my opacity on this layer to about 10. And as you can see, you can't see it anymore. But I promise when I print it, it's going to turn out darker and I'm going to be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, now that I've changed the line work color, I'm going to go to File, Print, and it looks like my Epson Stylus Photo 1400 series printer is already selected. So I'm going to press OK. And in this little window, again, you can't see the line work at all because it's so light. I'm going to press OK, and then this pops up and it will show me what it's doing. So now my printer's going to print it. And I'm glad this actually happened because sometimes this happens when you're putting thick paper in your printer. Sometimes your printer doesn't handle it very well. So I'm going to try to help it through a little bit. First, I press my button here that's giving me this like alert, your paper is jammed button. So I press that button and it's gonna start all over again. And this time I'm gonna kind of hold my paper. And it did it pretty easily this time. Okay, I was wrong. This actually printed maybe a bit too softly, so you can barely see it. So I'm actually gonna do this all over again, and I'm going to change my line work opacity to about, let's just go with 18. I'm gonna tear off another page, stick it back in the printer. File print, okay. All right, so this is much better. I can definitely see the lines clear enough that I can ink over them. And I will mention that I printed this light because when I go to scan this, my scanner barely picks up these light lines. So I don't even have to do the fancy getting rid of the blue line artwork trick. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful.